Hi friends, it's your boy Cranberry Enthusiast coming at you with another not live but pre-recorded video in which I kind of discuss some different things off the cuff. Although for this my trunk is rattling or something. Something funny's going on. The engine sounds louder than it usually does to my ears. Oh, there we go. I'm just doing the pedals differently. Anyway, so if you're still watching, which if you're hearing this, then you must be thereabouts. Yeah, I wanted to make a little video, longer than the shorts that I've been uploading, but talk about. So if you watched the two previous shorts that I put out, I've been trying to create a challenge, a personal challenge for myself, and then follow through and complete the challenge. And I'm here to start off with this video saying that the second challenge, the revamp challenge, since I failed the first challenge, I basically have failed the second challenge already. And I want to talk a little bit about, well, and more so specifics of what the challenge is, why I failed, or at least some idea of why the challenges I've been doing have not been going as well as I'd like them to, especially for me, where it's like man, like it seems like I mean, you know, it's a challenge, but it should be, the stuff I'm doing should be like easy enough. I can't imagine why I would be having such a hard time completing these challenges. And so, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that type of stuff. So, to quickly recap, I gave myself toward the end of April a 2-week challenge where I was like, okay, complete this list of tasks. It was like 10 things I wanted to do every single day. Some of those things were actually like really simple, like make sure I'm up before a certain time. At that one, it was 7:30. Make sure I am in bed ready to go to sleep by 10:30 each night. So those were like, that was 2 things right there. In addition to I want to make sure side note, but I've had a terrible dentistry history, and I had to fight really hard to keep my teeth clean and well taken care of, so to speak. And so that hasn't been the most ideal, but there have been some extra things my dentist has given me, and I'm like, okay, I want to actually start consistently incorporating this. And so like I added that to the challenge. I want to, as I'm brushing my teeth, I want to make sure I'm doing some stuff like that. I want to make sure I'm taking better care of my teeth. And then the other thing was more like physical exercise. Most of my job that I do, I am sitting or standing behind a desk without much movement. And so I'm like, okay, I really want to prioritize making sure I'm getting the movement that my body needs to stay in shape and physically healthy, as well as like I want to work on my upper body strength and like ideally my stomach muscles, because it's and mainly just I'd like to, you know, stay healthy and take good care of myself, whereas also not going crazy overboard, because you can definitely go crazy overboard with health, and this body's not going to last forever. And I don't get extra points for having, like, you know, a perfect body when I die or whatever. So, but I want to be a good steward with what I've got, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so I had like different things like that where I wanted to get so many steps in a day. They say you should get at least 10,000. Some days in the past, like I've been getting, some days I've been over 10,000, but some days I'm only getting like less than 2,000, and that's like, yeah, that's not great. And so I've tried to really step that up. Anyway, so I ended up, and along with that too, I guess, I'll finish going through some of the other tasks. Some were like reading tasks. I wanted to read so much of the Bible each day, and complete different reading plans and things that I'm currently a part of, as well as completing what I consider the equivalent of one creative task. And I have a whole system with that. That could be its whole other video, but I wanted to just, you know, stay doing creative stuff consistently each day. And what else? And actually, I think adding all that together, I think that was like the 10 tasks of the original challenge. Anyway, I did not totally succeed with that because I didn't, and life was, I had different stuff going on, and I didn't, different good things, but everything takes time, and there are certain things that you just can't do, so to speak. So I revamped the challenge, and this time I actually was like, okay, May is about to start. I want to just have this challenge for the month of May. And so I kind of revamped it. I built in some contingency plans if things did not go according to plan, which inevitably things started not going according to plan. But then I started running into some other issues, and eventually it was like, basically one aspect of what happened, I think, is that I was still going through, or I was still relying upon like sheer willpower. And given that these are challenges, I gave myself like different rewards and things, or different things to achieve, and I'd be like, okay, so like for example, there are these really cool drum samples that sound really cool in my opinion, and I'm like, well, I'd like to get those. What if I turn that into a reward where I'm like, okay, if I complete this challenge, then I will buy myself those drum samples, so to speak, but only if I follow the requirements of the challenge in this way, so to speak. And so that kind of worked for a little bit, but I think an issue with, and part of the reason why I fell off the wagon with challenge 2 is because it was so long, and I'm relying upon willpower in addition to balancing so many other things. Like, for example, yesterday I was really going into it. I was behind on the number of average steps I needed to take for the May challenge, and so I spent a lot more time than I usually would, like running around and getting my steps in and walking around, or just trying to stay more physically active. I ended up almost hitting 10,000 steps, which is above what I wanted to hit each day, but the average was like 7,000, and so it's and the other major reason, and the main reason I think why this challenge fell apart, is something that I'm not very good at, I've learned, and that is like balancing, like properly using and harnessing dopamine in balancing with a busy schedule. Because I mean, let's face it, I do have a busy schedule. I, like, most of the time don't have time to just turn on the camera and record like this. It's like driving is like one of the few times that I can actually spend time to record live off the cuff videos. You'll notice that they're live off the cuff because if I had to spend time to edit these videos and make them more condensed, like that would take even more time, and and I haven't been putting out a ton of videos, but it would take so much more time. And so I've learned different strategies for kind of condensing the time and to take advantage of the way things are currently set up. But one issue is I found myself, okay, it's time for me to go to bed, but there are either unfinished tasks that still need to be done. Maybe I haven't, maybe I hadn't gotten all my steps in. Maybe I haven't brushed my teeth, or done all the different things I want to get done for brushing my teeth. Maybe something else weird is happening or going on, but it got to the point where it's like, by the time I am in bed and like ready to sleep, I don't have a full 8-hour period all the time. Like I was postponing going to bed, and another issue with that is because I've experienced a lot over the past week. My brain has been not ready to go to bed. My brain wants more stimulation. I've been like working it so hard. My brain wants to release, relax, let go. Like my brain is not ready to just slow down. It wants more, so to speak, because I've been pushing it so hard, as I do consistently. And so I guess, yeah, I can't really blame myself for that, but it is something that I've got to learn how, for one, I want to learn better about what it is and what the phenomenon is, and the difference between, what I can and can't control. Because, yeah, I can't control a lot of things, but, it's, I think, important for me to recognize whether something is fully, this is just the way it is, and I'm going to need to figure something out, or if I can train myself to, get around different obstacles or different things like that. Like, for example, one thing, I need sleep, period. And I listened to something recently that's one of the biggest, so they say, and people say all kinds of things. Just because you get poor sleep doesn't mean this is going to happen to you. As I feel optimistic that it's not really going to happen to me, especially as I've been working so hard with it and trying different strategies and trying to be proactive about it. But a lack of sleep can lead to different mental health issues, but also actual brain diseases or Alzheimer's, that type of stuff. Which again is not true across the board. Even on the thing, there were lots of people being my mom or dad, they're in their 90s and they, they're sharp as a tack and they barely get any sleep. And it's there's a lot of factors, but still sleep is important. And I think everyone would agree that sleep is an important factor. So basically my conundrum now is trying to figure out, okay, I've already learned the hard lesson that I have to have so many hours set aside to sleep. I can't just be I'll give myself 8 hours, because guess what? The first hour-ish of that time is going to be me getting down into sleep, and I'm not actually going to be able to sleep for that first hour, essentially, or it might be less than an hour, it might be more than an hour, but then that only gives me 7 hours-ish, or maybe closer to 6, and to actually sleep. And so I had been giving myself a half-hour thing, but I think I need to give myself a 45-minute thing. And so instead of being okay, my alarm goes off at 7 in the morning, so assuming I sleep through the full night, which thankfully I've been doing by and large, that means I need to be essentially asleep about 11 p.m. in order for me to get a full 8-hour block in there. And that means, so I've been my goal has been to shut off to shut things off, to shut off my light and to be in a way I can sleep by 10:30. I think I'm going to be bumping that to 10:15, to just give myself that little extra time. And that means I need to have everything in a row, and I need to have my own brain and everything taken care of, and my mental state to be in a way where I'm ready and I can actually go to sleep. I'm not full of restless energy. I'm not filled with an insatiable craving that I just will have trying to willpower through, because unfortunately, as you may well know, willpower only gets you so far. And it is a renewable resource, but it does run out, and it's not always it's not really a most wonderful thing to rely on long term. It can help, for the first times with both challenges, the first few days of the challenges, that was great, but but yeah, it seemed like there were definitely some flaws in the plan that didn't make it impossible, but just actually made it a lot harder than it probably should be, and again caused me to made it easier, I should say, for me to fail at completing all the tasks that I wanted to complete, and of course I'm trying to balance that with everything that's going on. So all that to say, it's been kind of crazy. Unfortunately, I failed the second challenge, but you know, failure is a good thing, and I've already learned more, and I am actually I'm planning on definitely trying a third challenge, and getting that done. So anyway, stay tuned for more. Thank you all so much for watching. Definitely let me know your comments or questions down below, and yeah, if you are inspired to try your own challenge and what that might look like. So thank you all so much for watching. See you later.